a part of the hybrid that was at work in last year's school session, and that allowed for people to go into the schools, to the campuses, and actually pick up their assignments, reading materials, tests, etc., fill all of that paperwork out, and return it to the school. Has there been a call by among some parents to be able to do something like that and avoid the online portion of the learning?
There has been some interest in hard copy, and we've indicated that as late as hard copy. So as late as last of May, we informed the community that would not be an option, and that was really based on all the feedback.
Yeah, but that was based on Plan A. so now that we're in Plan Z, is it a consideration?
Yeah, but it was also based on the input of teachers, staff, and parents at the time. In fact, the students and parents who did want hard copy at the time were saying, well, we want to do it because it's easier for us in terms of the content being easier versus the online. So we made a decision at that point. So now I think the issue was last year we didn't have the laptops and the MiFi devices and the CLCs and internet access available to students. So we made that option available. This round, our plan is to, because those resources now available, is to distribute the laptops, support either with MiFi devices or access to the school sites to be able to use that for internet access, which is allowed under the executive order. We want to push more of our families to go ahead and try that route, even though they may be hesitant to do it. We do think that in the long run, we're going to be stuck with online learning for a while. We need everybody to get used to it. The hard copy also involved a lot of logistics and a lot of staff, being out there interacting with families, and with the variant up there and so forth. We wanted to try to go with these first two options for the time being.
Let's see what happens here. There's going to be a protest apparently tomorrow starting at 10 at Chief Kipua Park. Looks like it's being put together by individual students now from Southern High School. And I know Michelle Franquez sent out the note yesterday. It is not endorsed by Southern High School, and I imagine it's not endorsed by the Department of Education either. But I think it's important that the students now are voicing their concerns. Lack of credits, difficult accessibility to the internet, having to stay in abusive homes. And I'll throw in the idea that there are a number of juniors and seniors for whom they'd really like to be able to show off their skills on a court or on a field now who no longer can do that. So we're talking about now what will be the third year for many students of an incomplete high school experience. And you know your times in high school, and they're among the best times of your life. And I'm a Duenas guy, so that's all we live for is to see each other.
Well, Ray, I have I don't know if you've kept track, but my daughter is a senior this year.
Yes.
High school.
Oh my God, your daughter's a senior. I remember when she was in elementary school.
In grade school, right? God. Yeah. So you can imagine the pressure I get at home, or the stink eye, or the silent treatment. So we definitely know that our kids. If you ask the students, they all want to be back. I mean, some of them. I would say a small minority of them are echoing what their parents are saying. It's the COVID-19 variant and the cases are worrying, but none of them wanted to go back and fully online. So we understand where the students are coming from, and we want to get them back to school, back in their classrooms, back with their classmates, back with their activities. And so as a community, we need to work to get them back, and it really should be a priority.
Well, John, okay, now just a couple of Duenas guys talking here, but the community has done its part for the most part. Everybody that needed to get vaccinated, 80% of the ones that were eligible have. We've been social distancing and washing our hands, and you know what your protocols were at the schools. Has there been any idea on what metric Lou or whoever it is that's making these decisions, because clearly it's not Dr. Nguyen, but what metrics will this group be looking at that will determine when you can go back to face-to-face learning? Has that been explained to you yet?
Not yet, and that's the conversation we're going to work on with the governor. I think for now, it looks like the hospital situation is really the main issue here.
Well, how many kids do we have in the hospital, John?
That's the thing that worries me, and that was exactly on my mind this morning, the past couple of days, to reach out to Dr. Cabrera or the folks at Public Health and say, you guys are putting out this data. Can we just make sure we get information on the pediatric side of things? Because that would be the key worry for me. Other than that, everything we know about COVID-19 has been, less severe, less impactful on kids, especially younger kids. If there's something different about this variant, I think that's the fear, that there might be more of an impact on children, I'd like to know, because that's going to be part of the calculus about to get back to school. What are the impacts on children? Are there any children being hospitalized or in the ICU? Because that's important for the public to know, at this stage. Is there something different about
that's
this?
the answer to the question is, what's the metric, and why do we make this decision now that has impacted the schools and virtually every household on Guam? If we're not, I mean, yeah, we knew that the kids were going to get sick. Nobody said the kids weren't going to get sick, but is it putting an undue burden on the hospital? Even the story in the Guam Daily Post that very dramatically says GMH ICU reaches capacity, but when you go to page 4 in the newspaper, Lillian Posada said GMH's 14-bed ICU is currently full, but only 2 of the beds have COVID-19 patients in them. The other ones are just people that fell down or stepped on a nail or whatever it is that puts you in the ICU. I think this was a step too far for the students and the families. And now to hear that you weren't really consulted about this over at the Department of Education, and you haven't been given any idea on what the metrics are that are going to return to face-to-face learning, I think that's even more disconcerting and disappointing to our listeners.
Well, I texted the governor a couple of times, and she has agreed that we need to prioritize the return to school. And what that means is we just have to work out with public health. But again, when I spoke to her on Friday, I think she had pretty much decided. I'm glad she did give me a call to let me know.
Oh, that was nice.
The problem was, I think the problem was is that it wasn't really relating to what was happening in school. And I think that was good for us to know, because that's something that we've been preparing and trying to practice for. But I think with regard to what they're seeing on the other side, on the other sectors and in the hospital and whatever, I'm not really privy to that. So I'm going to go ahead and I told her, I said, that's your decision. I will support that decision in order to get the community situation under control. But we really got to get our kids back as soon as it's safe to do so. And she did agree. And so I think the issue now is exactly that. What metric are we going to use to determine it's safe to go back? And we'll provide a series of options for consideration, including things like, sending half of our kids on one day and the other on another day, just so we can lower the numbers on campus, if that'll get kids back and start the return to school, because that's really a critical factor and a critical need for our kids.
We've been spending a lot of time talking with John Fernandez from the Department of Education, and since the parents aren't teaching face-to-face and the kids aren't in the classroom anymore, is there any way that perhaps the governor could relax her push for vaccinated teachers and staff in the schools, since they aren't they aren't actually in front of anybody anymore? Is it possible that we could provide a little bit of relief on the teachers that are concerned that they may lose their job if they're not vaccinated in time?
Yeah, I don't know if that is one of the metrics that they're looking at. I mean, that could very well be. So that's something that I'm going to have to look at.
That sounds like extortion to me. We'll let you teach your kids again if you get yourself vaccinated. 7 after 9 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
All right, go and find Bob Cost and see what he's got to say about all that. And see if there's any protection your partners at the union might be able to provide. Dude, it's always fun talking with you. We totally blew off Fox News because I think this was a more important conversation to have.
All right, thanks, Ray. Good talking to you.
Always good talking to you. John Fernandez from the Department of Education. So it's true, Mana. It's true what we heard. They didn't see it coming. He got a phone call on Friday that said we're closing the schools. There you go. Way to go. And when are we going to reopen the schools? I'll tell you. I'll tell you when we're going to reopen the schools. Okay, what metrics are there going to be to guide the decision to open the schools? I don't know. They didn't tell us. Okay, 7 after 8 o'clock in the morning. Fox News Live. Like I said, we blew that off completely. Montesilva with news. And yes, I knew that the live feeds had gone off. I don't know what exactly happened. We had to restart our system here. And unfortunately, that means that everything that John Fernandez said was only heard on the radio, unfortunately. And I don't know if I've got anything in my system that might be able to get that back. But basically, that's what it was. It was a description of what was going on, the Department of Education, when they found out what was going to be happening, and what their suggestion was, which would have provided for, you get some kids on Monday, another set of kids come in on Tuesday, the same set of kids, and you just go back and forth with these cohorts. Personally, I would have liked to have been the guy that comes in on Tuesdays and Thursdays so I can goof off on Friday. But that's the story. Mana's got your headline news and more coming up.
Now Here at Guam Auto Spot, we have the best selection in Buick, GMC, Mitsubishi, and used cars. Like the 2021 Mitsubishi Mirage, as low as $127 per paycheck, 0 down. Or this 2021 Buick Encore, as low as $237 per paycheck, 0 down for 72 months. Call 478-AUTO to schedule a test drive or get pre-approved online at GuamAutospot.com.
At Jack in the Box, I baked cheddar directly into the biscuits of my 2 for $5 cheddar biscuit breakfast sandwiches. Because cheddar makes everything better.
Even?
Especially that.
But what about...
Yep, that too. Plus tax, limited time only. Price and participation may vary.
Looking to furnish your home? Furniture Kathy Style offers a wide variety of beautiful quality home furnishings at affordable prices. Find the best deals with mattresses starting at $169, sofas as low as $699, bed frames starting at $399, and dining sets starting at $499. Schedule a free design consultation and let us help you create a home you love. Follow us on social media, visit our website at FurnitureKathyStyle.com or call us at 300-9590 for more information. Shop with us today.
Your local news is brought to you by Nambo Insurance. Skip the line, pay online. It's fast, it's easy, and it's secure. Visit Nambo.com for more information.
Off the day, it's 8:10. I'm Mana Silva Tyron with a look at your local news on the point. Well, with over 20,000 people filing for the All Rise Act, the governor's been called to lift the cap on that program, and she's telling media stations this morning that if she needs to, she will lift the cap. The governor, at the close of business yesterday, reported that there were over 20,000, actually it was 20,534 people who came out to apply for the All Rise Act, either online or in person. There were a few glitches by DRT, but the governor said that those were technical issues and they were resolved. Now, she has again been called to lift the cap on the program, and while she had doubled down on her side and said that she would not lift the cap, she told K57 this morning that she would lift it if she needs to. Another COVID-related death was recorded this week, marking the 150th the island has seen. It was a 75-year-old man who was at GRMC. He died yesterday. It is reported that he did not have any underlying health conditions, and he was also not vaccinated. His death comes as there are 45 people now admitted to the 3 hospitals on Guam, 8 of them in intensive care. GMH also did indicate in the media that their intensive care unit was full. From the JIC report this morning, 181 new cases of COVID-19 have been identified out of 1,567 tests performed on Tuesday. 91 of those cases identified through contact tracing. There have been a total of 10,740 officially reported cases of COVID-19. They listed the CAR score this morning at 44. Meanwhile, testing continues up at the Teenson Carnival grounds, and that will run from 8 until 12. The vaccination clinic also continuing at the Micronesia Mall from 11 until 6. We'll have more news right after this.
Go green, go solar, and save big with Nambo Insurance. When you power up your home with solar panels, Nambo Insurance will pay up to $350 toward your power bill. With Nambo, you can enjoy great savings while going green and helping to save Guam's environment. At Nambo, it pays to go green. Terms and conditions apply. Visit Nambo.com or call 477-9754 for details. Nambo Insurance, proudly serving Guam for over 50 years.
Police are investigating a car crash that took place early this morning in Chalampago. Sent 2 people to the hospital. It occurred about 12:56 near the Chalampago Church. Medics transported the victims. Their condition this morning is not known. And the Department of Justice has filed suit against GovGuam and the Guam Retirement Fund for allegedly refusing to properly provide pension credit to service members who use leave from Guam's leave-sharing program while on active duty military leave. The suit charging GovGuam and the Retirement Fund that they shorten the retirement benefits and pension annuities of at least 5 service members and potentially many more. The lawsuit asks that the court order defendants to stop denying service members proper pension credit, identify all current and former employers who've been harmed by defendants' discriminatory practices, and properly credit those employees' retirement funds or adjust their current pension benefits. And the DFS Shoppers will be opening up on Friday, September 17th. The store looking to open from 1 until 7 with exclusive reopening offers and promotions to thank their customers. The store carries scores of beauty brands and luxury brands. Customers will also receive a complimentary Tea Galleria yoga mat for any purchase that they make on September 17th. And those are your top stories here on The Point.
But I don't yoga. What do I need a yoga mat for? Can I have a Gucci purse?
It's good to put outside, if you want to lay out in the sun.
Anything else, Real Joe? You need a yoga mat?
I know.
Someplace for my pit bull to
When
sleep.
you go to the beach, you lay it out on the sand.
There's other stuff that I do for that. Anyway, 814. I'm glad that they're doing that. So all the people in line right now for your $800 All Rise Act money, you've got someplace now to spend it. I know some of you are thinking food or power bills or medicine or something like that, but
Man, I'm just looking forward
up.
to the employees being able to go back to work because DFS has been closed almost this entire pandemic. And
didn't they open up?
They
opened up like one day, yeah, and they had they had people in line all the way down to what's the name of that strip joint on the other side? You remember, Real Joe? Yeah, well, what's it?
Anyway.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
So those guys want to go back to work.
8:15 in the morning. All right, that's Montecillo Tower. And quick look at what's happening with weather because we've got Daphne Shimizu on line 1 here. Partly cloudy, becoming mostly cloudy this afternoon. Isolated showers and thunderstorms are in our forecast. Expect some scattered showers, etc. this afternoon. East winds 5 to 10 miles an hour. Mostly cloudy tonight. Scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms as well. Overnight lows 78. Daytime highs today 87 with a heat index. It'll feel like 96 degrees. Now we lucked into a gorgeous sunset last night, and maybe you saw it, maybe you didn't. I might have a picture I can show for you a little bit later on, but maybe there's going to be some late afternoon grill marks and sunsets. Check it out tonight at 6:31. Mine was over at Turay, spelled Turay. Thank you, DDB, for that, and maybe it will be there again tonight. We'll see. 8:16, that's news and weather together here in The Point.
Leah Dunca from Security Title here with a little information about trusts. A trust is a legal entity capable of owning property. It can protect property from issues such as lawsuits or divorce and can be used to distribute property and avoid probate. Many trusts start as revocable but become irrevocable when the initial trustees die. Work with your estate planning attorney to see if a trust is a good fit for your family property. Call the professionals at Security Title. We are here to help.
Serving the people of Guam since 1959. And they'll continue to be there for you in the years to come. Whether you're looking to get a personal loan for that summer staycation or paying off those long overdue bills, Family Finance has got you covered. Apply for a personal loan from $1,000 up to $3,900 by calling Family Finance. Agana, 475-4545, Upper Tumon at 647-5626, or in Dededo at 633-4473. Family Finance, serving the people of Guam since 1959.
Real Talk Radio is back.
Right.
Welcome to The Point, Guam's FM News Talk Superstation.
I love talking radio on the FM. You can hear everything. You can hear the dogs bark at Bob Klitsky's house. You might even be able to hear my stomach growl because it's always, I'm always hungry for something. You got a little bit of betel nut over here, some coffee over there, and thinking about what it is that I'm going to be having for lunch. What I'm picking up for lunch. Because I don't go inside places anymore.
Yeah.
8:17 in the morning, and we've got Daphne Shimizu from the Department of Revenue and Taxation, and I'm glad to see that you finally got things going with your drive ups and your walk ups and your and the online finally. Good morning, Daphne.
Half a day, Ray. Half a day, Guam. Yes, and so you know what? We're really excited. Of course, yesterday we did have a challenge in the morning first thing when of course we did have several people that were trying to get onto our website. And so a lot of people were receiving error messages. I mean, at 7 in the morning, though, our IT team was made aware and was working with our vendor to make sure we addressed it. So by around 9 o'clock, I think we had already received about 3,000 online applications. So although it was a little bit slow going in the beginning, probably by mid-morning, it was pretty much resolved, and the majority of people that were trying to file online were able to do so. In fact, by the end of the day yesterday at 5, I have some numbers for you. We received 16,175 applications online, and we had, by the end of the day yesterday, received 4,359 manually filed returns, and that was both by drive-through drop-off service and also for people who walked into our income tax branch. That's a total of 20,534 applications that we received yesterday.
Wait, how many?
20,534 applications we received yesterday. Almost 80% of those were received online, which is really wonderful. And again, we're happy that we were able to resolve the issues that we were seeing yesterday morning with regards to.
Well, I'm sure everybody. I know a bunch of people that struggled to be able to get the application done in the first few minutes of it. And I'm glad that you guys got off that MySpace server and were able to put it on something with a little bit more bandwidth to be able to handle the back and forth, the bandwidth pull and push from as you say 13,000, 14,000 online viewers. So the number in the Guam Daily Post is 17,188. That number for the total number for yesterday revised is up to 20,534.
Right, and that number at the probably that was provided was as of 2 p.m. Our team had to regroup at the end of the day, and as we regrouped, after we regrouped at around 5 o'clock, the number that we have, the updated one, and this is as of 5 p.m. or a little bit after 5 p.m. yesterday, September 1, 16,175 online, and then 4,359 that were manually filed, and those are applications, so a total of 20,534. So from 2 o'clock in the afternoon until just slightly after 5, we saw the number jump from 17,000, I guess, to this just shy of a little bit over 20,000 applications that were received. It's important to note, though, Ray, that not all of the applications are, I guess, what we call A status or clean.
Right.
There are some applications that came through, and we're seeing them that have errors in them. Yesterday there was quite a lot happening, and so we still have
with those people, Daph, I'm hearing you, and I'm getting that from many of our listeners as well. So the question is, do they keep their place in the first come first serve line, or are those apps pulled out and put into limbo? Do they get put back where they were, or do they go to the back of the line?
Well, it's still real early, and what it is we still have to work to assess what the reason for the errors are. Some of them, and per discussion with some of my team members yesterday, some of what we were seeing was that people were applying, but they had exceeded the AGI, and so even though they were able to submit their application, they actually were not eligible.
Okay.
We're seeing some things like that, but we, again, it was kind of like, there was a whole lot that was compressed into a very short period of time yesterday. So we're still trying to digest some of it. And, of course, our team is going to be working to review and determine what the suspend status, what the suspension reasons are. And it will depend. Again, if you are just completely ineligible, then, of course, then, there will be no payment. But we really have to assess, and it's not clear at this point what all the suspend reasons are. So those are things that we're going to have to review and look at.
There's at least one email, and I'm going to head this off at the pass because I'm pretty sure Dan wants to get a hold of me and talk about it. But the reason why he may be ineligible is because he filed his 1040s late, and he filed his 1040s late because he's a Social Security recipient, and he feels that he's concerned that may make him ineligible for the All Rise Act money.
Right, and so of course, one of the first items in terms of eligibility that was spelled out in the executive order was a validly filed and processed return. And I know, this is one of the probably the questions that we're getting most is with regards to people who had otherwise been eligible, but whose returns are not validly filed and processed in our system yet. And so our team, actually, Ray, we've been working probably 6 days a week for a little bit over a year. We're really doing our best to try to process these returns as quickly as we can. But validly filed and processed return is a requirement. And, because we have to turn around, or we're working to turn around payments real quickly, again, it's kind of balancing out, trying to get payments out as quickly as we can versus trying to process returns. And if we had, several months to pay, maybe until like end of year to pay, then perhaps we could possibly work to address those. But the reality is we're going by the requirements of the executive order. We're doing our best to try to make. No,
I get that. Now, how is that? How is that entry date determined? Is that the date, the executive order? Because I mean, there might have been people going, well, okay, I'm late turning in my returns, but that's my penalty. Should that prevent them, even though they're otherwise AGI eligible for the program? If they didn't know that it was going to be happening, then all of a sudden, because they're late, they're being penalized, even though they are eligible for it, and they have actually suffered as a result of COVID-19.
Right. And so, again, we go by validly filed and processed. It has to be validly filed and processed in our system. Where we are with regards to processing is we're approximately in mid-May. We're doing our best to process. Our team is continuing to process now. But, of course, we're trying to pivot to make sure we work to process these applications now. So, again, we're doing our best to process as quickly as we can to get people, as many people to be as eligible as to be eligible for this as possible. You know, we want to pay our people. We want to make sure we get, you know, the most people to be able to be paid out, and that's really our desire. But we also have the guidelines, and we're doing our best as well, you know, just to make sure as well that it is implemented as fairly as possible based on the guidelines that we have.
All right. Well, and the guidelines are out there. The FAQs are available on the website. So try not to set yourself up for disappointment. However, I did. What is it? The first guy that was in line that had been there all night the night before, as it turns out, his 1040 is not in, and so he is ineligible.
You know, my understanding, based on, of course, other information, was that we did have someone who was in line, and he had mentioned over the radio that he did not file his return until like 3 weeks ago. And so, of course, again, we go by the eligibility, which is validly filed and processed. If your return is not in our system or not processed in our system, or if you have a return that has an error, because it has to be a clean return. And there are some people who may have errors in their returns. For example, they may have duplicate dependent issues, meaning both them and their spouse or their former spouse both claim their child. And so, you know, of course, it causes the system to error out. There are situations like that, and if you do not have a clean return, then also that will cause the system to error out. So it must be validly filed and processed. It must be in our system, and that is, you know, the guideline that we're using. Again, we're doing our best to try to get as many in as we can, but, you know, given the time frame to pay, you know, of course, you know, the reality is that there are going to be some people who may have filed a return, but because it's not validly filed and processed, may not be eligible to get paid for the program.
826, make sure your T's are crossed and your I's are dotted on the way in, ladies and gentlemen. As I said, don't set yourself up for disappointment here. The other thing is, according to the Guam Daily Post, they're doing mathematics based on about $800 per application, and if just, you know, 20,000 at $800 a piece, how close does that get you to hitting the edge of that $30 million? My guess is you'll probably get there somewhere today.
You know, so you know what, I don't know if you've been able to come by or look see our traffic line, but really, like yesterday, you know, you're very familiar with the area, right? Mm-hmm. The line was looping up from Route 16 up to SNU and through you know, the residential area at Barragata Heights. Today, and actually, so yesterday, just as an update, by like around 2:30, 3 o'clock, we really didn't have a line. In fact, there was one individual who had reported that it took him like less than 10 minutes in the drive-through line. And then probably close to 3:30, we didn't have any car line at all, or there was no cars. But throughout the afternoon, there were like a few cars that were coming through the car line, but really there wasn't too much traffic in the afternoon. Also, there was nobody at 5:30 or 6:30 yesterday afternoon when our team was leaving. There wasn't anybody parked outside Route 16. So this morning, there were cars that were lined up, and if people are familiar where Vinny's is, I think that was where the end of the line was.
Everybody knows where Vinny's is. Everybody, because they got the best chicken shish kebabs on Guam. My friend Boris online asking how many applications are single filers and how many are joint. Have you done the divider on that?
I don't have that calculation, and in fact, of course, you know what, it's hard for us because we do have those 4,359 manual returns that our team is still working to process, and they've been processing those since yesterday. So I don't have a breakdown. We're going to do our best again to get the best tally we can so we could provide that information to everybody. I haven't yet gotten the recommendation from my team to, you know, cease receiving applications. So, you know, my recommendation to everybody at this point is if you haven't been able to get online and file, you know, that you go ahead, if you are eligible, go ahead and do so. We're continuing to receive applications. We're doing our best to get through them as quickly as possible. And I know that you are a nerd and you like time and motion studies.
Oh, yeah, data is valuable. But if 20,534, if those people only filed single, right, not to include joint filers, that puts you well over half of the $30 million that has been made available. That's 16,427, and that's only the numbers as of 5 o'clock yesterday afternoon. As I say, you know, based on the rate of application from yesterday, either in person or online, I'm thinking you're going to get to 30 million before the day is over.
That's highly possible. But again, you know what? We're monitoring it, and we're going to do our best to monitor it because we want to make sure that we are very clear at the point that we are not going to be able to receive applications anymore. So again, we don't have that information. Our team, as far as I know, we don't have a final tally on the dollar figure, and I do not have the breakdown for single or joint filers, but those are things, again, that we're going to probably be working to discuss.
Well, I imagine there might be a lot of joint filers in there as well, which means that we're at 16 million at least, through 5 o'clock yesterday afternoon. Boris knows how to do this. He'll figure out what the percentage is based on current levels of tracking. And like I said, it wouldn't surprise me if you guys hit that $30 million mark before the end of the business day. 8:30 in the morning, Daff. It's always fun talking with you. Any advice for people that are thinking about getting in line or online today, right now?
Well, again, we're still continuing to accept your applications. If you are submitting them, again, please make sure that they're complete. Not all of the returns that are filed online are A status. Not all of the returns that we're getting as manual filings and that we're processing are A status. So you really have to make sure that you answer all of the questions completely. You really need to make sure that your application is complete. And of course, before you come in, it's important to determine whether you are truly eligible. So if you could look at our website at www.myguamtax.com, we have the FAQ, guidelines, instructions, and forms right there for you to be able to review. And that's the best information I can give.
I think that's good. I think that's good stuff there. Listen, I got to let you go. A couple of things that are happening right now. Jerry Roberts, the guys from Burger King came by and have dropped off the garlic and bacon burgers that they've got there, the Garlic and Bacon King. So Mana's going to take care of news, and while she's doing that, I'm going to be noshing on this.
All right. Thanks so much, Ray. Have a great day.
All right. Hug and a kiss, and tell your hot sister I said hi. Hello? She always misses that part. What's up with that? 888-825-58. TALK. All right, that was Daphne Shimizu from the Department of Revenue and Taxation. Hunger Games for sure, but we're going to be, I'm not going to be in the Hunger Game here because I've got my Garlic and Bacon King, and while Mana Silva is going to be doing the news, I'm going to be eating on some of that. Mana's got that last look at news and headlines coming up next. As we end Pandemic Unemployment Assistance, or PUA, on September 4th, the Guam Department of Labor is still committed to assisting you with your employment and unemployment needs. Call 311 to book an appointment for help with claim issues, appeals, and overpayments. For new applications, the deadline to apply is October 4th. Are you still trying to get back on your feet? Let GDOL and the American Job Center assist you by calling 475-7000 or 7001. Visit dol.guam.gov for more information.
A message from KFC's Colonel Sanders.
I spent months searching the world over for the very best Nashville hot chicken recipe. Then I found it in the last place I ever expected, Nashville. KFC's new Nashville hot chicken with a legendary blend of spicy and smoky flavor.
KFC's Nashville Hot is back on Guam for a limited time. Get yours today. It's finger licking good.
I can do it. Just because I got BK in my hand and my mouth doesn't mean I can't go, bring it. Real Joe's like, I'm going to go straight to Mana without an introduction. This is Mana Silva Tyrant, former Senator Mana Silva Tyrant, who needs no introduction but won't work without one. So, with the news, latest headlines. Off of Mana, what happened?
Off a day, over 20,000 people, as I've been telling you all morning, Ray Gibson, you never listened to me, have filed for the All Rise Act. And with calls for the governor to lift the cap on the program, she's confirming this morning for the media, at least some of them, that if she needs to, she will raise the cap on that Rise Act. The Department of Rev and Tax continuing to accept applications. They are urged to put out those benefit payments within 2 weeks of an application being approved. Another COVID-related death was recorded this week. It's the 150th. A 75-year-old man was a patient at GRMC. He died with COVID complications yesterday. Meanwhile, the JIC reports that 181 new cases of COVID-19 identified out of 1,567 people who were tested on Tuesday. 91 of those cases were identified through contact tracing. That brings our total to 10,740 officially reported cases on Guam. The CAR score this morning is at 44. Meanwhile, the testing continues through Saturday over at the Teeds and Carnival grounds from 8 until 12. Vaccination clinics also continuing at the Micronesia Mall from 11 to 6 p.m. Keep going.
Yeah, at least one more bite. Let me get one more bite, and then it will be halfway. This is so good.
The Guam Daily Post also reporting that 3 Guams of major business organizations are strongly urging Guam businesses to revert to a 50% occupancy. This, they say, will help curb the spread of COVID-19. Those organizations include the Guam Chamber of Commerce, the Guam Women's Chamber of Commerce, and the Hotel and Restaurant Association. GHRA recently put out a survey of their business partners asking for their feedback on the governor's recent executive order that called for vaccination or proof of which or attestation. The groups have yet to put out any sort of results from that survey. And those are your top stories here on The Point.
Bet you can't print them. That's the problem, is you can't print them. Because there's a couple of parts in there. You know, you click on an answer here, you click on an answer there, you know, it's a multiple choice. And then there's a couple of what I like to refer to as essay questions. And my guess is that some of the responses on the essay questions probably not broadcast quality. Probably, you know, you ask people about how they feel about all of this stuff. And some of the folks that I talk to cannot describe their emotions without getting very emotional and 4-letter wordy about it. That's just me. Anyway, 8:35 in the morning, and you might be going, okay, so what's the up-down on that burger here? All right, so it is the garlic and bacon King. You can find it over at Burger King effectively like right now, and it's good. I mean, it's clients. I mean, of course it's good. So you've got that BK King flavor in there, cheese and a couple of patties, and the bacon. But almost with every single bite, in fact, every single bite that I had, they've got these garlic chips in there. You know, sometimes you eat at a restaurant, they give you the garlic chips in there. Same thing happening. And this is really, really groovy. I'm very much enjoying the flavor, and you want to try it today over at Burger King. It's 8:35 in the morning. We got Ray Lynetta from ESGR coming up here in just a second.
Bargain Tactical, Guam's largest firearms dealer and sports shooting store, offering the best selection on island. You'll find everything you need for your next trip to the range. Ammo, target, stands, hearing and eye protection. A full-time armorer is ready to help with repairs, maintenance, and builds. Plus, you'll find a large selection of home defense accessories, including tasers, stun guns, pepper spray, batons, and home security devices. Pellet, BB, and airsoft guns in stock now for pest control and training. Tactical Gear Guam, Route 16, Army Drive in Harmon. Follow them on Facebook and Instagram at Bargain Tactical 671 or online, bargaintacticalguam.com. Bargain Tactical. You defend, we support.
Guam employees and retirees, it's time to choose your health plan. Choose a network of more than 200 providers, including GRMC, GMH, STA, AMC, IHP, and the FHP Health Center. Choose lower copays at preferred in-network providers. Choose fitness partners, including PFC. Choose a payroll deduction as low as $2.04 biweekly. For yourself and your family, choose Take Care. Open enrollment is September 1st through the 25th. For more information, go to takecareasia.com or call 649-0468. Take Care, our island, your health plan.
I know it. 8:36 in the morning. Go eat at Chili's 2-in-1 entree selections. That's the big deal here, starting at just $19.99. Indulge in premium entrees. Their sirloin and ribs combo, or their sirloin and ancho salmon combo. Enjoy a best of both worlds flavor experience at Chili's in the second floor of the Tumon Sands Plaza. Let's see what's happening here. It's 8:37 in the morning. 888-8255, 888-TALK. And Real Joe writes, Ray Lionetta on the line. Actually, it's Ray Lionetta, and he's my classmate from the Father Duenas class of 1980, and he does lots of stuff here. But he wants to call with regard to statements made by the governor?
Yes, sir.
Well, this will be interesting. All right. Ray, good morning. Welcome to the program.
Hey, Ray, half a day. Man, you are so lively, you and Mana and your program manager there. Wow. So much energy.
We try to keep things moving at a rather high bias here because there's a lot going on, and frankly, it's only a 4-hour show. I mean, for as much that goes on here on Guam, we could easily do 5-6 hour programs. With everything that's in the news and the headlines, etc. It would not be difficult. But yeah, we like to keep things going, cover as much ground as we possibly can, and do it with the same kind of attitude that I had as a senior at Father Duenas in high school. None of this stuff really matters to me at all, but it's it does to a lot of people. So I want to make sure that everybody gets their $800 in the All Rise program so they can go shop at T Galleria when they reopen.
Right. So I was listening to another radio station.
How dare you?
Well, you know what? I like variety. I'm not a singular guy.
No. This is a good time for talk radio for sure. But go on.
So I know what happened yesterday. I've been listening to all the radio stations and folks, and it was a mess. That's my view from the feedback from the people.
Correct.
And so Daphne Shimizu came on at the other radio station, right? And I go, wait a minute, I gotta say something. So I called, and then I was put on hold. And you know what? The governor came on to my surprise, and I was the second caller after she left. But you know, I just sent you a recording of what I said, and I want to share it with your listeners too. And this is what I told Patty. I go, you know what? I think the governor has a problem. The problem is my plan. I know, I am trying. My program, they need to get on board, and it's me. And you know, I didn't hear anything about we, they, us, our. You know, our team, one Guam, working with senators and the congressmen. I didn't hear any of that. It's just, and what struck me is that statement, they need to get on board. What? They need to get on board? Come on. Who do you work for? You know, I got really irritated when I heard that. And I would imagine the other co-equal body in the legislature would say, wait a minute. That doesn't sound right.
No. Ray, you know how much I love fighting with you, right? So I'm going to take you from there and say, no, the legislature, going back to the 35th Guam legislature, has had ample opportunity to stiffen their backbone, all 15 members of them. Right now, you get to, you know, there's a couple of people in the majority and most of the people in the minority over at the legislature that would like to project the independence of this second branch of government on Guam. But there are way too many other people at the legislature that drown out that voice and simply will rubber stamp anything that comes out of the governor's office. They pretend that they're not doing it. They pretend that they're actually standing up and fighting for the people and against the government. But it's all drama, bro. It's kabuki.
I know, it's so sad, you know. And then the people, like yesterday, the people are suffering, calling in and saying, "Hey, I'm in this line so long, you know, I really need the money." And it's just like there's something wrong here, you know. They got to work together. I think past administrations made good attempts to do that, and the end result was the people benefited.
Well, right? I mean, these are unprecedented times, but the point that they're trying to make over at the legislature is you've got access to all kinds of money. We know that you can use more than $30 million of the All Rise Act, of the American Rescue Plan dollars to support bigger caps, no caps, in fact, and higher payouts on the All Rise program if you want to. But apparently she doesn't want to unless the focus groups or she gets pressure from the one or two people that she's actually afraid of around here to get that going. Unless the governor does something, this program ends within 48 hours of it beginning.
Yeah, but here's something that she said this morning. The RISE Act was illegal, right? The RISE Act was illegal. My question to that is, okay, why didn't you, back in December 2019, say something? Instead, you just let it lapse. So fast forward to today, now you're saying it's illegal? When you had an opportunity to tell the legislature, okay, let's work together to fix this, and let's take care of the people of Guam. But instead, she ignored it and let it lapse.
Yeah.
So that's a clear message to me, right? Don't tell me it's illegal today when months, almost a year passed, and you didn't do anything about it.
Well, here's the thing. Without sounding too Pelosi, frankly, my friend, this is peanuts, and she's got people fighting with each other for a space in line out at the Department of Revenue and Taxation for peanuts. This will help people. Some people keep the power on and the lights going, maybe some food in there on their table, but it ain't going to last that long. It will run out as quickly as it comes in, and there's nothing on the other side of that other than child tax credits and you know, a promise that your tax refunds are going to be coming in a little bit faster next year, maybe. We're going over a financial cliff on Saturday, and it will be interesting on Tuesday. Because we got a holiday. It will be interesting on Tuesday to find out what the plan is going to be after that for several thousand people here on Guam that are underemployed or going to be unemployed.
But Ray, thank you for doing a great job. Thank you for giving me that voice, and thank you for not cutting me off, because the other show basically didn't like what I was saying and basically said, "Oh, we got another caller."
State-run media. It's state-run media.
Oh yeah. of course, we know that, and I took a chance, but hey, I got my message out, and that's why I'm going to you and telling your listeners, hey, this is what
All
happened.
right. Well, it's my turn, Ray. You're the boss of the ESGR right now.
I really don't want to connect that with what I'm doing.
Well, yeah, but I really got to ask. I mean, now we go from, I appreciate your thoughts and your sentiments as a listener and a civilian here on Guam, or somebody that lives on Guam, but there is a story. The Justice Department is suing the government of Guam and the Guam Retirement Fund over a USERRA violation. So so the question that I have is, number one, how long has this been going on? And to what degree has the ESGR, what degree will the ESGR play? What role will they play in the disposition of this case?
Okay, so that issue is with the USERRA law.
Yes.
And so basically the court upheld the law that five members who are citizen service members were wrongfully denied their the money, basically, and said, no, you have to pay them. You guys are wrong.
Yeah,
right?
you're shorting them on their pensions.
Yes, and that's significant because that's for life, and that's a lot of money. And so we were very happy to hear that ended up that way. Yes.
Where's the end on this? I've got a complaint now that was filed today by the United States versus the Territory of Guam and the Government of Guam Retirement Fund.
Oh, that's a different story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So are you telling me a court has already ruled on this in favor of these employees?
Yes.
Then why are they suing them?
But when you're talking about Gov Guam employees, that's a different matter. They may be able to use what happened with these service members under the USERRA law to fight that battle.
Oh, okay. Okay, we're deep in the weeds now on a couple of different cases. So the regular case that went through the Superior Court of Guam was won by these individuals.
That's the story.
But then why is there a case now in the district court?
I don't know.
Oh, could you look it up? Could you go to the Department of Justice's website here? The Office of Public Affairs has a press release that is out today. Justice Department sues Guam and Guam Retirement Fund for denying service members proper pension credits during their military service. So it would seem to me that apparently maybe the ruling in the Superior Court wasn't strong enough to get them the rest of the damages that the Justice Department was looking for.
Yeah, I gotta read up on it. It's hot off the press. Right?
No, absolutely. All right. Well, like I said, go to the Justice Department and see what they've got to say.
Thank you.
All right.
And we'll talk later.
I hope so. All right. Appreciate it. 8:47 in the morning. 888-8255. 888-TALK. Phone line. You heard that one drop off. That means that the line is open for you. So if you've got something that you want to participate in this conversation, you're more than welcome to. It's although Mon and I got into a little tiff at the end of this. I said, "Oh my God." First and last in my lifetime, woman governor of Guam. And I'm going, because it's just so wishy-washy and everything feels like it's personal that comes out of the governor's office, all these executive orders. It just feels like, and then yesterday it's like, oh, the legislature wants me to increase the cap. I'm not increasing the cap. Page 4, today's Guam Daily Post. And Nick Delgado does a story, and it talks about how she's down there at Revenue and Taxation, meeting the people in the line here. Mingling with the common folk, as it were. And he says in the story, the governor has said she would not increase the $30 million cap for the program. As you hear from Ray, apparently that's not the case. Told other media this morning that she's considering increasing the cap. Well, which is it? What was the basis of the decision before, where you said you would not raise the cap? Was that based on anything? Was it because we don't have the money, we're not authorized to put the money in there, I've got other priorities that I'd like to spend that money on? Is it in a lockbox or something like that? It could only be used up to $30 million of that? So you couldn't, and that formed the basis of your decision not to, apparently yesterday, not to increase the cap from the $30 million. Or is it now PR? Is that what it is? Is this a PR move? Is this, I'm hearing from a lot of people, oh, my God, the lines are long. We're going to run out of money before 5 o'clock on the second day of this program. I don't want to look as though I'm withholding the money. And maybe we'll have, as has been done in the past, maybe they will move forward with the idea that we could have different herds of applicants in different places, GPO, Micronesia Mall, Hulali, if you want to. Is that something that we can do? But to say on one day that we're not going to do it, and then to say in the very next day, well, I'm considering doing it. So what is it? What was the reason? Did it have to do with actual facts on the ground that say, well, I just can't go any higher than 30. Sorry. Or is it politics? Is it optics? What do you think? Let's check in with the other governor, Leon Guerrero. Ken. Good morning, Ken.
Good morning. And you answered the question right there. It's optics. Because the governor that has now finally begun to realize that she can't buy her way out of this with advertising, because she knows the people of Guam are not going to forget this. And there's a bunch of senators in there that remember the last time the public was this mad, and 6 of them got voted out of office. And so now the Democrats, who have been ad-loop supporters over people supporters, have to be looking at that, and that's why you're seeing all these Democrats all of a sudden getting a conscience and petitioning the governor to reconsider for their political sakes. I mean,
but what? How could she possibly say in one breath the other day that she was not going to lift the cap? She said that yesterday, and in another breath, or maybe under some other pressure, like the optics of seeing thousands of people in lines at the Department of Revenue and Taxation, and even more struggling to get through on the MySpace page that they had up for a while yesterday. Maybe that was enough for her to be moved from it. But what was the basis of the decisions? If there's no money there, if there's not enough money, or is this something that we can push and pull on? Did she say, Les Carlson, we need to eliminate the cap, go find me another $30 million, or go find me another $20 million? And was Les able to go scratch around and look under the cushions in the governor's office and find $25 or $30 million? I mean, I want to hear that. Otherwise, the rest of it, it's the same thing as when they wanted to, what was it? Nobody in the restaurants unless you're vaccinated, no employees and no customers in the restaurants unless you're vaccinated. And enough people in the hospitality industry got together and said, but wait, we're inviting all kinds of people to come and eat. And if we tell them they can't go in, even with one vax or one jab, then it's going to screw things up for the businesses. And so she said, okay, nobody can go in unless you're vaccinated, or if you can self-attest that you've had at least one jab. Well, is that based on science? Is it based on any kind of biology and chemistry of the human body? No, just optics. There's no science here. So other than any kind of fiscal package that all of a sudden they were able to find, on what basis is there going to be an increase or deletion in the cap?
Well, she's not done harvesting the economy yet, because, as I said in 2019, one of her goals was to get control of the Government of Guam Employees Retirement Fund, and by now she's got enough control of ASC that we're going to see that Bill 15634 or 35 reintroduced that mandates that any Guam-based retirement system must have a Guam-based administrator. We have a new hospital that's
oh, you remember that? Wait. You remember that? There were people over at the legislature who wouldn't touch that with a 10-foot pole. They could see right through it.
Yeah, but you see, this is going back to the second Calvo administration. Remember, they hadn't even finished counting the votes before Calvo did a 180, because the first administration, he was such a good governor that I tried to volunteer to be on his re-election campaign for the second time. But then in November, they hadn't even finished counting the votes yet, and they already gave themselves massive retroactive pay raises. They dusted off GRRP and put it into play, and they went full court press on Guam YTK. Well, that's what we expect to see in the next administration if Lou is getting in. But she's realizing, hey, these optics are so bad that I don't think unless I throw some peanuts to the crowd here, I'm going to be able to get reelected. That's her thinking. Let them eat cake. That's her mantra. They got it above Adelup right now.
8:55 in the morning. And from your Facebook constituency here, it says, John Song says, this is LLG's way of prodding the cattle along and keeping everybody in line for her and her party. Brandon asking, where is Moylan? Moylan was online with us a little bit earlier this morning, and telling her to stop the madness, and you know, you've got the authority that you need in the legislative override to eliminate the cap and to increase the amounts of money that are going to be going to families here on Guam. But not hearing anything past all of that, and again, there's a part of me that feels like this is all just kabuki. I mean, if you know you're putting up a very dramatic fight, even though we've already determined what the outcome is going to be.
Well, this goes
But at least you look like you're putting together that very dramatic fight.
Well, this goes back to the roadblock issue. Until someone stands up in federal court and files a challenge on the discriminatory nature of the All Rise Act, she may get away with it. But I don't think she will, because public opinion is so up high right now on the negative side that this is higher than the pay raises. You know, I mean, my wife, we were trying to have dinner last night and had to turn off my phone. You've probably got that.
No. Not currently being married. No, that's not necessarily a problem. I took my happy hour to East Agania and enjoyed the sunset from there. And frankly, I was looking forward to all of the messages that I got, because many of them were, you know, confirming my biases as to what I see here that's going on. And the only word I can come up with is one I invented. It's Afghanistan, and that's exactly what this is. I mean, we got what a massive commission of errors yesterday, and unforced errors actually on the government. We knew that there was going to be a ton of people in line. We knew that there was going to be a crush of folks at 7 o'clock looking for a way to press the submit button. But so many people that, as you pointed out, had offered another idea. How about if we do this and have multiple locations where people can go and sign up? Just put a timestamp or something like that on it. John Ananich here, you can comment on this. We've talked about it before. He says, I believe this upcoming election will be a deciding factor for a lot of residences to decide on the move factor. Those who can get out will. The rest will have to suffer the consequences of the few that determine who serves our community. Let's pray we vote for change and get our island back to where we once were. And I can only agree. We knew going in that there was a possibility that there could be a brain drain. Not everybody is going to recover as quickly as slower or faster at the same rate. And that becomes a problem when we start hearing from friends and relatives that live in Florida, live in Texas, they live in all kinds of other places where all of a sudden things feel like normal. Their economies are coming back. There are jobs that people can get themselves into. There are places where you can, Las Vegas, California, you know this. There are places where you can go where your dollar, and I'm trying to remember where I read this recently. Somebody on Guam was making, your dollar can spend twice as much in Las Vegas as it spends here.
Oh yeah, I've got keto friends that torture me. They send me pictures of zucchinis, 79 cents a pound. And I just spent $5.99 a pound over to locally unnamed purveyor.
Well, and what's your electric bills and your water bills? And sure, your property taxes are going to be up high. Rents might be a little bit higher than you're used to around here, but for the most part, it's within reason. And there's lots of places where you're not in competition with kids in the military that are propping rental prices up around $2,400 a month. Anyway, lots to talk about, lots to unpack there. Ken, I'll talk to you pretty soon.
Absolutely.
All right, you the man. We've got Mel Mendiola from Gita coming up in the next hour of the program. The reason why she is an important get here is, as many have remarked, gee, there was going to be that plan that would start at the end of this month, beginning of next month, that would provide for $9.50 an hour or $9.25 an hour subsidies, including the withholding taxes, for employees. I, among with many other people in this community, were looking forward to that because I would like to hire people. I'd like to take the chance on bringing a couple of other members of the family into the company, but need the help on paying them because the economy is not rebounding very quickly. Unfortunately, that program has been put on hold indefinitely. And they said, no, Gita's got another program that might accomplish some of the same things and allow for me to take underemployed people and perhaps bring them up back up to 40 hours a week. So I'm curious as to what that is going to look like and when we will be able to fill out applications for among those kinds of things. Because trust me, there's a lot of businesses that, based on recent executive orders and decisions made by apparently just the governor, there's a lot of people that are upside down right now and could use the assistance to keep their lights on. It's 9:59 and change. Radio stations KUSG, I got you. 93.3 The Point. Stand by. Fox News Live is going to be coming up next, and we'll find out what we missed in the last hour of the program. And I think I'm going to eliminate what is left of that garlic and bacon king from BK.
A slow recovery. I'm Lisa Lacera, Fox News. More than 1 million residents and businesses in the Gulf are still without power, and utility companies warn it will be that way for weeks after Hurricane Ida devastated the area.
Really, we cannot sustain people. Stores aren't open, schools aren't open, pharmacies aren't open. Our hospitals are very challenged. You don't have electricity, you don't have water. If you come back, a lot of bad things can happen. So please be patient as best you can.
Louisiana Governor John Bel Edwards, at least 6 people have died from the storm after a coroner confirmed a 65-year-old woman drowned in her Louisiana home. And police in Maryland said a 19-year-old man was found dead in an apartment complex flooded by heavy rain from Ida's remnants. The White House says President Biden will travel to Louisiana Friday. The National Hurricane Center says Tropical Storm Larry is strengthening quickly and is expected to become a hurricane later today. The suspect in a school shooting that killed one student in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, is now in custody, and authorities have now identified the victim.
Police say William Chavis Raynard Miller Jr. died after he was shot by a fellow student at Mount Tabor High School in Winston-Salem. The shooter's name has not been released. School officials say grief counselors will be on hand for students at the school. Other area schools were locked down for a while as the situation unfolded. Gernal Scott, Fox News.
A federal bankruptcy judge has approved with conditions a historic opioid settlement between Purdue Pharma and thousands of local and state governments. As part of the agreement, members of the Sackler family will give up ownership of the company and pay $4.5 billion, but will also be free from any future civil claims. The deal comes nearly 2 years after the Connecticut company filed for bankruptcy. America is listening to Fox News.
Half a day, this is Honey. Here at APL, our expertise and extensive network can help you grow your business and reach out to more global markets. As a responsible carrier, APL is also committed to a sustainable future, whether it's protecting the environment or investing our efforts in giving back to the community. Our dedicated teams in Guam, Saipan, and on U.S. mainland are here to support you. Call 588-4651 or visit apl.com.
Chili's is pairing up premium entrees with 2-in-1 entree selections starting at $19.99. Indulge in mouth-watering combos like the sirloin and ribs combo, the ribeye and jalapeno sausage combo, or the savory sirloin and ancho salmon combo. All served with delicious mashed potatoes. Dine in today and enjoy the best of both worlds flavor experience with Chili's 2-in-1 entree selections. Available for a limited time. Chili's on the second floor of the Tumont Sands Plaza. Chili's, savor the moment.
A possible settlement is reached between USA Gymnastics and victims of the organization's former team doctor.
USA Gymnastics is proposing a payment of $425 million. That from a court filing this week to settle claims by numerous victims of the now imprisoned former national team doctor Larry Nassar. The offer as USA Gymnastics works its way out of bankruptcy and after a 2018 settlement between sex abuse victims and Michigan State University, where Larry Nassar Nasser was the school's sports doctor. He pled guilty in 2017 to sex abuse images and sex assault and was sentenced to essentially life in prison. Jeff Manasso, Fox News.
An attorney who represents more than 200 Nasser victims says survivors are also demanding mandatory changes to USA Gymnastics and the U.S. Olympic Committee. The Old Farmer's Almanac says this winter could be harsh.
The 2021-22 edition of the series says this upcoming winter is the season of shivers. It claims below average temperatures and above average snowfall for New England, parts of the Appalachians, the Ohio Valley, the Deep South, even southern New Mexico. But the Farmer's Almanac is questioned every year for its accuracy. One meteorologist over a 2-year period in 2016 and 2017 slapped a good accuracy rating on just a quarter of the regions surveyed when it came to precip predictions and only a third of the regions when it came to temperature predictions. The Almanac claims an 80% accuracy rate. Rob Dawson, Fox News.
2 men, one from New Jersey, the other from Connecticut, have been arrested on suspicion of digging in an area of protected fossilized dinosaur footprints in Holyoke, Massachusetts, after authorities saw them walking to the site along the Connecticut River, carrying out rocks and tools. They've been charged with vandalism, trespassing, and an archaeological violation. I'm Lisa Lacera. This is Fox News.
As we end pandemic unemployment assistance, or PUA, on September 4th, the Guam Department of Labor is still committed to assisting you with your employment and unemployment needs. Call 311 to book an appointment for help with claim issues, appeals, and overpayments. For new applications, the deadline to apply is October 4th. Are you still trying to get back on your feet? Let GDOL and the American Job Center assist you by calling 475-7000 or 7001. Visit dol.guam.gov for more information.
As we get back to business, Docomo Pacific is ready to keep you connected. Introducing Business Bundles Plus. Build a customized bundle with the right internet, mobile, TV, and phone plan for your business. Pay for exactly what you need and nothing you don't. And the more services you add, the more you save. Plus, you can rely on Docomo Pacific's fastest, most reliable network and 24/7 customer support. So build your own bundle and save today with Business Bundles Plus. Call 671-688-2677. Docomo Pacific Business. Work better together.
Contact Express Financial for all your financial needs. Express Financial is consumer lending at its very best. They also have a host of dealer service programs with quick approvals. There are 3 ways to apply. Over the phone at 637-9834. You may visit their office in person at 600 Harmon Loop Road across the street from Costules. Or you can also visit their webpage and apply at myexpressfinancial.com. In most cases, you'll get your money the same day.
I can't talk right now because I just finished that King. I ate half of it while Mono was doing the news and half while they were doing the Fox News. And now I just want to lay down. I want to lay down and go sleep. I also want to brush my teeth because no, the thing is loaded with garlic. There's fried garlic chips in it, and bacon, and cheese, and the 2 patties. It's really good. It has been a long time since I've had such a thing that was that good.
Nice.
And I ate it too fast.
You did.
And so I'm just saying, it's the new BK garlic and bacon king. So get that now. Right across from the BK and Agania's Auto Spot, Guam Auto Spot. Great selection of Buicks and GMCs and Mitsubishis. Plenty of used cars as well. You want something off the new car lot? Check out the 2021 Mitsubishi Mirage, starting at just $127. Paycheck 0 down 478 Auto, and take a test drive or get pre-approved online at GuamAutospot.com. Ray Gibson Show. On the Point. Also brought to you by APL. American President Lines, a global presence with a local home.
Anytime. The Ray Gibson Show.
I think I just snuck up on me, man.
Call now. 888-TALK. That's 888-8255.
What? All right, so I know that many of you listened to the entire program, even that part when we were off the TV. And you might be going, Ray, thank you very much for finding out everything about the DRT, or who else did we talk to? The Department of Revenue Tax, Department of Education? I swear I'm going to burp. And it's going to be a garlic burp. Some people find that attractive. It's 8 after 9 o'clock in the morning, but I know many of you are going, Ray, did we get an answer on the Rexona deodorant for men? Now, I've never seen this brand outside of the Philippines. I know I think it's a Procter & Gamble brand, but, for the Philippines.
Yeah.
for the sensitive kilikili of the Filipino male.
Yeah, that.
And so I asked Janella. Chanel?
Yeah, she
said,
responded
do
to
you guys
you?
have that at John B? Her answer, does your family carry this? And she says, I don't believe so. I'll ask. And I said, because it makes my kili smell good. and her response is kili and then the laughing while you're crying emoji. Which leads me to believe that it's a funny word no matter what language you're using it in, or I might be using it inappropriately. Because I'm now guys of Filipino descent, your kili is your underarm, right? Your fat?
Oh, I hope so, Ray.
Gotta hope so. Now all of a sudden I'm going, I'm gaslighting my own self. I mean, wait a second. Sarita? Where's pretty Sarita Garin? Am I making reference to the right body parts here? Because God help me, and there's 100 different ways that Filipinos describe things. And I want to make sure I get it. I want to make sure I get it right. And I was talking to a Filipina girl who works out in the front office, and she said, "How was the burger? How was decking?" And I said, "Masarap."
Oh wow!
Yeah,
you're so bolero.
I'm so bolero. Okay, that's not a compliment. That's not a compliment.
It's not?
No. No.
I always take it as one.
No, and you're not pronouncing it right. You almost have to say it with disgust. You almost get, oh, you're so bolero. You've got to throw the angry Spanish sound in between that. Okay. So let me give you an example. Like guys over at the legislature, and then I'm working hard, be by the people. I'm working for the Manamcods and in Manhobin. I'm working for everybody here on Guam. I'm gonna make sure everybody gets their education's going to be free, and there's going to be free food, and you're going to never get a ticket, and you don't have to pay any taxes. And the immediate reaction from among anybody that hears any of this line, and I don't even care if it comes from senators that are my friends. Bolero. That's so much bolero. You're so full of bolero. That's the appropriate use of that phrase. When the governor says, we just need to close things down for 2 weeks to flatten the curve. Bolero. We get to, once we get to 80%, we'll be at herd immunity, and we should be able to reopen things and get back to a sense of normalcy. Bolero. So what's going to be the next one? What's going to, and that's what I want to know. That's literally what I want to know. Is what will the new goal be? The Pacific Daily News last week, or maybe it was this week. I can't remember. I remember laughing out loud before I rolled my eyes. They said we need a new goal. We need a new goal. That's what we've got to do so we can show one another how much we care for them and how much we want to protect our neighbors. We need a new goal. And I'm thinking, you sad fools, every goal that has been laid out in front of this community we've met, and it hasn't made any damn difference at all. Make it make sense. That's all I ask. Now, I'm a simple man. I like to think I'm just a warm and intelligent voice on the radio. Just that, you say something, and I just want to know how it is that there's other parts of your statement that don't seem to be backed up in any kind of a fact, right? So we got 80% of the eligible adult population, the very least 80% of the adult population that was eligible for vaccinated. Yet we're seeing vaccinated people occupying beds at Guam Memorial Hospital. Now, Mana said, when I mentioned that yesterday, she says, get off your high horse. No, but she was saying that like a sister, right? You are on, Lanya Underwood, there you are on your high horse again. But I'm going, but we're told all of this stuff. I mean, they tell us, and I remember the victory lap. I remember watching Josh and Mike Cruz and all these people over at the UOG Fieldhouse after they gave that last person that last jab that was necessary before we hit that 80%. And I thought, okay, well, maybe this is it. And it wasn't. It wasn't. No. Within a couple of weeks after that, when was that? June 29th? July 29th.
Yeah.
Literally within a couple of weeks after that, here comes the governor, says, oh, the rest of you that are unvaccinated, yeah, that's still not good enough. We need everybody in the government of Guam and the executive branch, they've got to get vaccinated. And if you work in a restaurant or a bar, you need to be vaccinated as well. And you know what? Stop letting customers come in that aren't vaccinated. Here's a special form. Have them fill this out every single time that they go in there. And I'm going, really? Really? What about the thing from before? The thing with the thing from before? And apparently, as we predicted, there was going to be years worth of fear porn based on the Delta variant. And there's going to be another variant that comes up after that, and we're going to throw just as much of the useless tactics that have brought us here so far. We're going to do those again, hoping that this time it will work. And we're doing it without at least one of the senior doctors, one of the most well-respected doctors on Guam, Hal Nguyen. Some people might be going, "That's Bolero, Ray." Just because he talked to you on the radio doesn't make him one of the good ones. All right, I get it. But and even that, I don't know how it is that people still listen to anybody over at Adeloop after hearing what the guy said on the radio just the other day. Dr. Nguyen, are these your ideas? No, they are not my ideas. They never take my ideas. They listen to us, and then they blow us off, and they go off with the decisions that are being made, not by medical personnel, but by administrators and bureaucrats. There's a Star Wars thing. I am the Senate, right? Anyway, that's where my head's at this for just about now. 9:14 in the morning, 888-255-888-TALK. And let me just take a quick look at what some of the comments are on the WhatsApp now that I've thoroughly embarrassed myself with a total lack of understanding about anything that is Filipino, considering that I'm born and raised on Guam, and the Philippines is 3.5 hours that way. You'd think I'd know a little bit better. And the fact that I'm in love with Catherine Bernardo.
Oh, wow.
I think I can say it now. I think I can say it now. And sometimes I watch Bolero. I mean, not Bolero. Barcelona. That's a movie she's in.
Oh,
sometimes
yeah.
I watch Barcelona. Don't even turn the closed captions on. I just love to hear her voice and see her face. And she gets pouty and she cries. And it's an ugly cry, but it's cute at the same time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Freddie Sarita Garin says, yes, Kili Kili is armpit. Nice. Not as much fun as Fat Fat, but it does sound like fun.
Yeah.
And according to a friend of mine, I'm not going to say his name, there's a real Joe. There's fetish websites that you can go to.
Oh, nice.
For Kili Kili.
Man.
And some of them have girls with armpit hair.
Okay. Hey. Yeah, no.
Was that John Cunningham? He's just going arg. I don't even know what he's arguing about, but he actually took a second to go to the WhatsApp for the radio station. Just type in arg, and then somebody's talking about ready for the mask apocalypse. Bring it. There was somewhere. Hold on. This is a good one. I love this. Thank you very much. I appreciate this. 888-255-888-TALK. I was recommending to somebody that we need patches. There's a couple of organizations that blown up over the last couple of weeks because of the executive orders. And I was talking to a friend. She says, "Well, what do you recommend?" And I said, "Well, what we've got to do is we got to get all of these different groups together." She said, "Will you do it?" And I said, "Probably not. I'm lazy. It would cut into my beer time." And anyway, so I said, we need to get all these different protest groups on the same page. It might be tricky because they don't all have the same goals. And, there's a couple of people in some of these groups that are just flat annoying and you just don't want to be around them.
Yeah.
But I said, this would drive unity. This would drive unity is we'd get patches and jackets. And she was like, "Oh,
nice."
And I said, "Yeah, what do you think the patches should look like?" She said, "Anything but a yellow star." But I don't know. Now that there's an artist rendering of it right now for the unvaccinated, maybe this is one of the things that we ought to do to underscore the feelings of segregation. Yeah, I said it. Segregation from the regular population. I took my happy hour right by Touray last night, and a guy pulls up in a truck next to me. He wasn't even there asking for beer. He just said, "Oh, blank."
Oh, wow.
You meant it when you said it. Because I've been saying, I don't need the restaurants. I don't need the bars. Everywhere I want to eat has got to go, so I can get myself my chorizo burger from Mosa's to go and get that and go and find 12 beers for $11.99 and just sit at the beach and have my own little happy hour there, right?
A good time waiting to happen.
I am.
Always.
But he didn't think that I would actually do it. He thought, just smart ass on the radio comments.
Now
I'm like,
know.
no, man, I'll walk the walk right here. And cute girl came up. I gave her a beer. She was the one that already had the Three Chiefs.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm doing, tell you what, why don't I just give you money and go over there and get the, have Have you seen the Black Three Chiefs?
I have. Yes.
There's 4 for like $20.
Good, man.
Bro, that's where my $800 is going. That's where my All Rise money is going to go. Is I'm going to buy me a whole bunch of that. The Black Three Chiefs. That's good beer. I don't know if it's worth $5 a can, but it's still good beer. 9:18 in the morning, 888-8255. Is that Mel?
It is.
It is Mel Mendiola from Gita's Online. Good morning, Mel. How you doing?
Good morning. How are you, Ray?
I'm okay. Now we were just talking about local beers and local craft beers. This had nothing to do with anything that I wanted to talk to you about. But to what degree can Gita help support a blossoming beer industry here on Guam?
Well, in fact, we did issue a qualifying certificate for the Guam Brewery, I believe.
Now they're supposed to. Now, what is the nature of the qualifying certificate? How many people do they have to hire, and how much do they have to reinvest back into the local community? And can that be reinvested into cheaper beer?
Well, what we did was we looked at their financials, and we looked at how much they were investing into the island, and there's an upside limit to the tax benefit that they received. And the tax benefit they received, of course, does not exceed the investment that they made into the island through employment, also through training, because, we need, I don't know what they're called, brewmasters, right? Is that what they're called? The guys that
I'm a product sampler myself. I don't know.
Yeah, product samplers, sales force, et cetera, et cetera. So yeah, we were really excited. I mean, I think that particular qualifying certificate was exciting. I mean, one of the things I had heard in I don't know if it was a conference or something, they said, urban revitalization is strong when you get a microbrew to move in. And I was like, oh, hell yeah.
Well, I know that there's more that want to do that. I mean, and there was one that was underneath the old Maharlika back in the day, Japanese family, that they made a great bunch of brews, and unfortunately they weren't able to sustain it, and worked a little bit with the guys over at Carabao. But they were brewing, Carabao's brewing, Guam Brewery's brewing, and I know that there's so many other people that want to get involved in the cottage industry. I mean, is there more money? Is there more qualifying certificate money now that one guy has got it? Can others apply as well?
Most definitely. I think it's really about, it's hard to justify. I think something like a restaurant applying for a qualifying certificate, because there are many restaurants. It's a mature industry. Yeah. But a microbrew is very much it's a virgin industry, right? And it does build skills, and it does promote economic diversification. There's a possibility of exports, and so it's certainly something that we'd look at.
And it's environmentally friendly too. I think it's environmentally friendly because there's so much of there's byproducts of it. Obviously, there are things that are coming out of the bottom of the vat that you could give to the Michelle and the folks over at Guahan Sustainable and feed their chickens with that. You can give it to a couple of guys in where they've got pigs and feed those with it and even cattle. So it just seems to me that there's even with the waste product of the brewing process, there are upsides to that. 9:21 in the morning. Hey, listen. Now the real reason why I called is a couple of things. Jim Bonanno asked me to ask you specifically about a program that came up, and we haven't heard from it, have not heard about it too much, and that is the Guam Small Business Pandemic Assistance Grant Program of 2021. Everybody knew about it. Everybody signed up for it, but there was just a limited pile of cash that you could dip into to make whole on those applications. When will you get more money so that you can take care of the rest of the applicants and new applicants to that program?
Okay, so last year, 2020, we had the Small Business Pandemic Assistance Grant, and that one funded approximately 2,300 or so businesses with $17 million, right? And then that was right around May, June, July-ish, right? And then later on in the year, we did the Small Business Rent Relief Grant, and that was the one that the governor kind of pieced together monies from other sources because it wasn't part of the original plan, and that was the one where demand exceeded supply. And we had about 290 businesses who were eligible and qualified, but we didn't have the funding for them. We needed 1.8. Remember, we were $1.8 million short of funding these guys. And so now we are looking to fund. So basically what we're looking to do is we're looking to launch the 2021 Small Business Pandemic Assistance Grant.
Good, because it's almost 2022.
Yeah. Okay, we can call it the FY 2022.
Thanks. Okay.
But the Small Business Pandemic is, Gita, we're not sexy like RevTax, or some of these other agencies where they come up with names like Azuday.
No. You got to find Logan, the digital engagement manager. He'll come up with something.
Small Business Pandemic Assistance Grant.
Which is fine, but so how do I apply for it?
So the Small Business Pandemic Assistance Grant, the governor is looking. It looks like she'll be signing the EO in the coming day or two. And so
Scares me when she signs EOs. You just never know what's going to be in that.
So when she signs the EO, it's happening, man. So we're looking to launch probably. It looks like we'll be launching next week, and so we are encouraging folks to get on our website, as well as follow us on social media. We will, of course, be doing the full court. You know, like as far as the press release, et cetera, et cetera.
I want to sell you advertising for it.
We're looking for it looks like we're going to get $20 million.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I don't want all of it. I'll share that. I'll share that 20. So 20 million in grants or 20 million to promote it?
20 million in grants. We get zero to promote it, man.
No. Based on the need and what you'd already seen with the rent relief program, you know that money's not going to last very long.
Well, we also are looking to fully fund the rent relief. So we're looking to also, so that's in addition to the 20 million. So 21.8 for direct grants to small businesses. I don't know. I think the 20 million. I think the 20 million will be good. I don't know if we'll. I think it's going to be about right. Last year when we hit the 17 million mark, applications kind of slowed down. And so, of course, this year I said, well, let's give twice as much money to everyone, and I asked for more money.
So same as last time, will be first in, first out, first come, first last,
more than likely,
first
yes,
serve?
it's going to be first complete. You know, as long as applications are complete, then it's first come, first serve.
And when are the applications available? Do we have a draft of them? Can I look at it? Can we pre-fill it out that way?
available.
I can have my guy there at 8:01, and then you can take it and start handing out checks.
Yes. I can't speak for the checks because those are cut downstairs at DOA.
Hey.
But we do have the draft, all the draft materials available on our website, investguam.com. Pretty much what you want to do is you want to make sure your guys got your GRTs set. All your GRTs are filed from 2019, 2020. Your business license is up to date, and then you fill out the application, you sign all the self-certification. So the application is really the one thing that is the last thing to drop, and that's the day that the program is authorized under the EO, when the program is authorized under EO. And when I'm saying the application, I'm talking about 2 pages, maybe 3, and the third page is like mostly just legal language that we're like sign here, sign here, sign here. You know. And so,
do I have to be vaccinated? What? Real Joe's laughing in there like I ain't a. You never know. It's you know how it is. You know how the lady thinks. How's the baby, by the way?
Oh, she's wonderful. Thank you for asking, Ray. She's her name is Jenny Rose.
You didn't name her after me.
We might have. We were contemplating Jenny Ray because her dad's name is Ray. Too.
Yes. That's what I was. That's all I wanted. I've got my own daughter, obviously, but as many people as I can confuse and say, yeah, that's my kid. Then I'm kidding. I'm totally kidding. So wait. Now this your first kid?
Yes.
And so the question is, what is it about having babies here that you didn't know about, that nobody warned you about?
What is it that I didn't
know
about?
What was the biggest surprise? And you go, oh crap, this wasn't in the book.
It's really, I think, the recovery okay, that you're going to be in a fair amount of pain, but I think there's a lot of pain after the fact. It's not just the labor. The big event isn't the labor and delivery. It's like there's some pain that just continues like for weeks, So, yeah, I won't go.
I've heard that about the second vax, but, for some women. James Howard pushing me into a question here. How about the cannabis industry? A qualifying certificate possible in the cannabis industry?
I'm not sure about the cannabis industry. I think because the qualifying certificate really has – wait, actually, I take it back. The qualifying certificate has to do with local tax abatements, right? And so when it comes to BPT abatement, real property, et cetera, then theoretically a qualifying certificate for cannabis could you can apply for a general qualifying certificate and put in a plan, et cetera, et cetera. Where we do have – there are certain qualifying certificates that allow for a federal income income tax abatement. And so that one is, for example, we have a what is it called? Our recycling QC. We're calling it the circular economy QC. And this is where people are getting waste out of the waste stream. That one allows, I believe, for a federal income tax rebate. So no qualifying certificate could probably ever give a federal tax rebate on a cannabis.
So far, well, it's still a Title I drug. Okay, gotcha. 928. Listen, it's always fun talking with you. Tell Ray I say hi, and best of luck with the baby.
Oh, there's one more thing, Ray.
Yeah.
Can I tell you?
Yeah.
We are having a virtual conference set for September 10th, so we're going to be sending out a press release on it, but people can go to our website to find out more. It's a virtual conference. It's for entrepreneurs. It's to promote export. It's kind of an export training type of virtual conference.
Right. And we've got one or two actual exporters around here. I like to believe that the hospitality industry is part of our export industry. Unfortunately, we're having a hard time with that these days. You have a great day. Enjoy baby stuff. And I think the kid's old enough now, another month or so, the poop will have smell.
Thanks, Ray.
No problem.
Thank you for that insight.
No. Cause you get them into solid food, and then just all of a sudden, I swear to God, it'll change the color of your eyes.
It gets gnarly overnight.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, and it happens just like that. It happens. Real Joe knows how this works, right? How many?
I do.
How many kids are you taking credit for these days?
Too many.
Right? All right, Phil. I'm going to let you go, Mel. You have a great day. 888-825-5888-TALK. No, it's true. You one day you're just sitting there going, "This is kind of amazing." It's like I used to have a dog. Give him a certain kind of food. You could pick up the poop with your hand, and that was kind of amazing. Yeah, and then they changed the formulation for the dog food, and then it was one of those that just make your eyes water. And it's like that with the kids. You go from just regular baby food, the formula, that kind of thing, and then all of a sudden you get into like rice and more solid food, and you just open the windows. Oh, your sole relief is over. There's not enough for Breeze. As a matter of fact, 9:30 in the morning. Who's on line 2?
Jack.
Jack's on the phone.
Yeah, Jack.
Jack, can you hold on a second? I got to take care of these commercials. I'll be right back.
Business owners looking to expand, looking for an opportunity to give your business a chance to succeed. There's a commercial space for rent at the DNA Plaza, Tamuning, next to Cost You Less, home to the famous Tokyo Mart, Ma's Kitchen, Yogurt Land, and others. Great foot traffic, 1,320 square feet available. Call DNA Incorporated for more information. 477-9053 or 9054, or email dnainc.guam@gmail.com.
Chili's is pairing up premium entrees with 2-in-1 entree selections starting at $19.99. Indulge in mouth-watering combos like the sirloin and ribs combo, the ribeye and jalapeno sausage combo, or the savory sirloin and ancho salmon combo. All served with delicious mashed potatoes. Dine in today and enjoy the best of both worlds flavor experience with Chili's 2-in-1 entree selections. Available for a limited time. Chili's on the second floor of the Tumont Sands Plaza. Chili's, savor the moment.
GovGuam employees and retirees, it's time to choose your health plan. Choose a network of more than 200 providers, including GRMC, GMH, SDA, AMC, IHP, and the FHP Health Center. Choose lower copays at preferred in-network providers. Choose fitness partners, including PFC. Choose a payroll deduction as low as $2.04 biweekly. For yourself and your family, choose Take Care. Open enrollment is September 1st through the 25th. For more information, go to takecareasia.com or call 649-0468. Take Care, our island, your health plan.
Yes, thank you very much. And a reminder that the best pizzas that you can find on Guam are the kind that you practically make yourself. And those are the ones over at Pyology. Remember the first time I ever went in that place, and I was astonished. I said, oh, my God, this is a magical pizza palace, isn't it? And they said, yeah, you see all of that stuff in there? You get to decide what goes on that. And I said, no. And they said, yes. And I tried it. And I immediately finished the first pie, and I said, give me another one. But I want it this way, and they're just absolutely nuts about that. You can go nuts over at Pyology. Try to relive that very first. You know what? Here's what I want you to do, because I sometimes it's hard to get that first experience back. You always, I'm a junkie. And so I know about those kinds of things. You never get that first high back. But here's the thing. You can give somebody else that first Pyology. You go find somebody that's never been to a Pyology and take them. And just look at the magic and the wonder on their faces. They bite into that pie that they practically made themselves. Place opens at 11, goes until 9 o'clock at the night. And here's the other cool thing is you get 2 pizzas for indoor dining, and you get a free liter of Pepsi. Now, the other cool thing is, never mind the Pepsi, they sell beer. here at Biology as well. So make it a very festive occasion with Biology today. The only thing I can equate that experience to is diving. And, well, not really diving. The first time I ever bit into, I had a friend of mine make me beetle net, Saipan style.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Wrapped up in all kinds of good stuff.
You throw the, chili peppers and powders and, this and that and the other, and a little bit of marijuana and I don't know, Virginia Slim Light cigarettes or something. They put the whole thing together for me, and I bit into the thing, and it was the very first time in my life, and the splash and the way the splash felt in my mouth and all the different flavors that had combined. And I swear I spent the rest of that trip trying to recreate that experience on that first jump, and it never happened. Divers will get this. People that go diving. Yeah. You remember the first time that your head, literally your body, your head is underwater, and you've got the thing in your mouth. You've got the breather thing.
Regulator.
Regulators. Yeah. Mount up. You got the regulator in your mouth. But still, there's this leap of faith moment that you get, and you breathe in through your mouth, and your lungs fill with the air that was formerly in the tank. And you cannot ever, in my mind, get that feeling back. I mean, it's a once in a lifetime. You've no recreating it as much as you try, as many times as I dive. But it's still worth trying. That's the thing. 934-888-8255, 888-TALK is the telephone number. The only place that doesn't apply is working on the radio. I'm here to tell you that every single morning I sit down here and I look at the paperwork that I've got, and I look at the stories that I've got lined up, and go, okay, this is it. And Mana will stop talking, and go to the weather, and go, and away we go. And I get to do that. I get that feeling every single day, and it's beautiful. 9:35 in the morning. Jack's on the line. Good morning, Jack, buddy. What's up?
Hey, brother. Yeah, water solves a lot of things, right?
Water.
I mean,
what a universal solvent, sure. Yeah. A lot of water under the bridge.
I was hoping that you could ask her, how about those people, who are gig workers, who do gig jobs? I mean, is there something for them? Is there a conflict between the SBA stuff that's going on, and if you had something over there, can you still qualify for?
I can. We can send her an email. Just Real Joe, do me a favor. Just send a WhatsApp to her and say, how will the relief grants affect gig workers?
Right away, sir.
GIG, not GAY.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, just in case you misheard me.
Yeah, because I'm a gig worker. In other words, I just do the jobs that I want to do. I do piecework, and a lot of things I do in the weekends over. It used to be over at the farmer's market, but with all this unvaccinated, vaccinated crap, garbage there going on.
It's crap. It's all crap. We're all the same. We're all the same. If you're vaccinated, it's the same as being unvaccinated. Look at the numbers coming out of the hospital, for God's sakes.
No, I'm talking about what the government's going to do to you if you get caught. So, I got a gun license that's in the works right now for a renewal. So there's just certain things I don't want to, jeopardize if I get a misdemeanor.
No, Jack, no, please, Jack. I need to pitch in the other direction. The number of people I talk to on a regular basis, I mean, this is daily, right? I mean, people reach out to me after work, or they see me someplace, and they go, oh, man, I'm tired of all this BS that's coming out of Adloop and all these rules and regulations. And I'm like, well, you call the radio station and say so. Oh, no, I can't recognize my voice. I've got agreements in the government of Guam, or I know somebody, my wife works in the government of Guam. I don't want to jeopardize her job or his job if it's the husband. And we've got to get past all of this. This fear of retaliation that exists. The truth of the matter is that they cannot retaliate against all of us. And there's all of us now. It's the vaccinated versus the unvaccinated. The students at Southern High School want to have a protest tomorrow, and they're getting met by resistance, even though they have just as much of a right for their voice to be heard as anybody else does. And frankly, we could learn a thing or two from these kids that want to go out there and express themselves. They got nothing to lose, right?
Yeah, but Raymond, here's the problem: is that, like I said, it's all about how much media you get, and when you get printed media talking about, they found out that people that back in December 2020 died because of the Wuhan virus. Oh, by the way, they were unvaccinated too. Everybody before January and February that passed away were unvaccinated because the vaccine didn't get to Guam to what? March?
February. I don't know. Late. It wasn't in December of last year.
And I said, really, somebody printed that? They had to say that, oh, by the way, they're unvaccinated. And what they're doing is they're shifting the story. They're trying to, and it's just frustration. It's not an aggravation out of you're doing everything right. You're asking the government's asking you to bend backwards. And there's just a point that you just can't do it anymore. And, I'm looking at the governor. I'm hearing her. And I got to say something. I think we could both agree that when everything's said and done, that Lilian Guerrero will be one of the top 3 governors in her family. But it doesn't extend past that. I mean, so I'm sorry. I had to do it. But it doesn't extend past that, and we're going to have a lot of problems coming out of this. And one of them is how we view work.
Hey,
brother, how you doing? It's my nephew.
Wait, how do we? People don't need to work anymore. They just need to line up in their car at Rev and Tax and get money and go and apply for food stamps because they ain't getting called back to work. There's going to be another 10,000 people on food stamps this time next month.
No, but the big problem is we're using this Wuhan virus as the spearhead to push everything through, and so it's comply or die, and it has nothing to do with what the virus is doing. A lot of information is coming out there, and it's just being suppressed. And I think that in the end, it's you, me, and Bob, and the few of us that are unvaccinated. We're going to become a protected species. And for you, it's going to be good because, they're going to use you for breeding purposes. So for me and Bob, we're married, right?
Hey, listen, honest, can I tell you that's a consideration? It's a stupid consideration, but, I'm 59 years old, got a beautiful daughter, but I like to think I'm young at heart. And it is possible that I might continue to be able to sire children shut up! Shut up, you real Joe. You're not that much younger than me.
This is where you and I
I'm serious. I was concerned about taking the vaccine because I didn't know what it would do to my bait and tackle.
No, but why I didn't take it is because I'm of the old philosophy. The real Conan the Barbarian, my doctor. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger, and that was the linchpin throughout history. Whether it's chicken pox or something, you survive it, build a stronger immune system, power through the other day, man.
I have an immune system. God gave us immune systems, and I'd like to think that God gave me one that would be able to survive all kinds of things. It so far has. So why am I not going to trust it now? And I think they're going to make a big deal about the guy that just died, 59 years old, and apparently no comorbidities and unvaccinated. Like maybe that's supposed to scare me, but it won't. I'm sure that there are outliers everywhere, and that just happens to be our case here. 9:41 in the morning. Jack, an amazing time.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Here's where you and I connected is because it's not because our political philosophies or our beliefs, is that we managed to take young and dumb into our 50s. And people don't realize how hard it is to do that. They don't realize how hard it is to do that. It is work, man.
Oh,
it
yeah.
is work when you see other people doing dotting their I's, crossing their T's. But, when the pandemic hits, we're all even, except, you and I and Bob are on the upside of things because, I don't know. It's not really a money thing. It's more like a principle stuff that we've seen this coming through. We see this with SARS 1. We see this, we were alive in a time period where technology took off. We were alive in a time period where we did things with our hands. We were alive in a time period where, you just got to cowboy up, cowgirl up to do the right thing. And the problem is the generation that passed that are new and millennials, they didn't have that. They were soft. And I hate to see it, and we see the things coming out of what's happening.
Bro, they were raised by Barney.
Yeah, we were raised in the backyard
You and I, we had Wile E. Coyote, we had Yosemite Sam, we had there was a whole generation for which Saturday morning violence was part of our lives, and we played with dirt and we drank out of hoses. All of these things. You see the meme every once in a while, but there's something to that. There's a whole generation of kids that were raised on programs that were supposed to teach them about good manners, and all it did was it turned them all into sheep. They're all just part of a herd right now, and not necessarily taught how to think for themselves. So I'm delighted when I find out. There's a couple of lady friends of mine, young, they're in their 20s, and in a couple of cases early 30s, and their line is we have to stick together. And I'm like, what do you mean? And they said, well, I'm unvaccinated. Oh, really? You're unvaccinated? Somebody in your age group is unvaccinated? You must be like the only one. And apparently there is though an undercurrent. There is, an underground of unvaccinated people in the Generation Z and the millennial category, and they like it that way. They've been renegades ever since, and seeing everybody going along to get along, and they're just not those kinds of people. I'm not saying they're difficult to get along with. They're just got a big independent streak, and I love it when I meet these people, when I hear from them, and I'm going, really, you too? Great. So what we got to do is secret beach, Jim. We need secret beach. We need to encourage a parallel culture here on Guam, where we've got the vaccinated. I'm not going to say the vaccinated are all people that just eat whatever it is, whatever crap that is coming out of Adelup, they eat it up with a spoon. I know a lot of people that got vaccinated because they needed it for work, or somebody was dying in the States and they had to get vaccinated so that they could travel easily, or any number of reasons why people choose to be vaccinated instead of being bullied into it like we are being now. And so I'm thinking we need to have a parallel culture of people that are unvaccinated or vaccinated sympathizers, and we'll just, we'll have our own secret restaurants, Jack. We'll have our own secret bars that we're going to go to. We'll have our own secret get-togethers where no one will ever find us. And I know lots of places on Guam, just off the beaten track, where we can do this anytime.
Well, no, this is it. The first most need to be taught is that no one's going to protect your liberty except yourself. Don't rely on government. Don't rely on politicians.
Or me. Don't rely on me. Don't rely on me. You got work to do.
The thing is, if you understand where your liberty comes from, where your freedom comes from, and the only people that can protect it is you yourself, you shouldn't be embarrassed or go in secret hidings. Do it out in open. Challenge them to arrest you. Challenge them to cite you. Challenge them to do these things. But what I will not do is play their game, and we shouldn't play their game. And there's good ways, and I said before, the right ways to do things, and then there's the wrong way to do things. And we need to start, living by our principles, not get caught doing stupid stuff. If we're going to do something, do it with intention, do it with meaning, do it so there's no gray area. So if you're a business that wants to open up and you don't care whether they're vaccinated or not, let us know. That's where I'll be.
Amen to that. Well, right. you got my private number, so call me when you can. There's my bro, Jack, 888-8255-946. Did we get anything from Mel on gig workers?
No, she didn't respond yet.
That was it. She's all done with me. That's I can't do any more, Ray Gibson. Mr. Killy.
I can't quit you, man.
Jack was talking about an independent streak. And I'd like to help you into thoughts about an independent streak. There's not too many things that popular phrases, poems, and passages that I keep in my head. But there's one, and Jim will appreciate this. You'll appreciate it enough to hold for just a little bit longer. You're familiar with the Lone Ranger, Real Joe?
Of course.
Did you know that there's a Lone Ranger creed?
Maybe.
Here's the creed of the Lone Ranger.
Oh, okay.
I believe that to have a friend, a man must be one. I believe that all men are created equal, and that everyone has within himself the power to make this a better world. That God put the firewood there, but every man must gather and light it himself. I believe in being prepared physically, mentally, and morally to fight when necessary for that which is right. I believe that a man should make the most of what equipment he has, that this government of the people, by the people, and for the people shall live always. I believe that men should live by the rule of what is best for the greatest number, that sooner or later, somewhere, somehow, we must settle with the world and make payment for what we have taken. I believe that all things will change, but truth, and that truth alone, lives on forever. I believe in my Creator, my country, and my fellow man. Man, timed out perfectly. Good job.
Wow.
Good job. That's, you know what? I was going to give you a hard time earlier because you never read the newspapers.
I know.
But you know, you're just being able to time that perfectly. Excellent work. That's the Creed of the Lone Ranger. You can find it anywhere on the internet you want to. There is another one. It's much shorter, and there is disagreement as to what it means. It is the family crest of the Addams family, and maybe you've seen it in the movie. There's a part where the little boy is taken around and says, "Okay, here's our family, the deal." Sic Gorgius, sorry, it's Latin. It takes me a second. Sic Gorgiamus a los subjectus nunc, and this is the phrase. And I used this in a Facebook post a couple of weeks ago, and I was expecting, you know, a couple of people to catch it. Not because of its reference to the Addams family, but because of what it means. It means we gladly feast on those who would subdue us. Isn't that great?
That's heavy, man.
That should be all of the inspiration that you need to raise hell and raise Cain and get out there and protest. And as they say, if you can't make them see the light, make them feel the heat. Get creative on that. We gladly feast on those who would subdue us. Oh, you don't want to get vaccinated? You can't go to the bar. Oh, just wait. Just wait. Okay, fine, I won't go to your bars. I'm going to get together outside the bars with other people that think just like me, and we will plan your demise. You like that? Yeah. Isn't that one of the things they said? Jim, isn't that what they were saying when they shut down the bars? One of the reasons why they did that had nothing to do with the spread of COVID-19, had everything to do with the fact that they didn't want people of a certain ilk getting together and talking about how lousy, what a lousy end of the stick the shaft that we've gotten from the government. Isn't that what people were saying there, Jim?
Yeah, pretty much, Bob. I'm sorry, Ray.
I'll take the compliment. It's all right.
Well, you know, I wasn't feeling too good last night, so I went to bed a little early, and I slept a little bit late this morning, so I'm kind of behind on everything. Now, I coughed at the kitchen table, and my daughter gives me the stink eye, and she says, "Dad, you need to go get yourself tested. You may have COVID." And I'm like, what? So now for the rest of our lives, every time you cough, you sneeze, you need to blow your nose or something, it's like, oh my God, dude, you got COVID. You got to get yourself tested. You know? No.
No,
I'm sorry. Did I mention no? You know, I mean, this is getting crazy. What did I miss out on something? Has the governor tyranted herself even farther overnight while I was asleep?
No. In fact, it was yesterday. Everybody over at the legislature making a big noise about how they overrode the governor's veto, and we don't need a cap on the RISE Act or the All Rise Act, and we ought to increase the amount of money that people are getting in the All Rise Act. And the governor said, "No, I'm not going to change the cap." That was yesterday. Today, apparently, she's been in the media because, I don't know, science or budget or economics have gotten better, and now she's pondering maybe an increase in the cap. And I think for a lot of people, that just goes, oh, my God, oh, can we be less wishy? She had a position yesterday, and unless something drastic changed between yesterday and today, unless Guam has suddenly gotten blessed with additional dollars that would be the foundation for the thinking that she has actually got some room to move. Unless that's happened, then the only explanation why there would be a change in heart would be because of optics, because she knows how pissed off everybody is about Afghanistan these days, that she's got a real shot at losing this election and being the first and last woman governor on Guam. And maybe that caused her a little bit of maybe she got to sleep late. Maybe she was pondering that as well.
Yeah. Well, let me throw this at you and see what you think about this, because against the governor's popular belief that all of this federal money is hers to personally do as she sees fit is incorrect. Okay, I think our governor fell and hit her head. Okay, because and I understand this whole thing is about money. I mean, if you look at this whole push about, vaccine, everybody's got to have the shot. And then they start moving the goalposts. Oh, well, we made 70%. Oh, well, no, it's got to be 80%. Well, no, we made 80%. No, now it's got to be 100% compliant.
Bill, and I hate to be overly dramatic because I'd hate it if it came true, but over my dead body.
Yeah, well, basically, you and I both. So at some point, and I've never met a tinfoil hat that fit my head right, okay? I do have a couple of pet conspiracy theories that I subscribe to off of many years of government experience. But generally speaking, I try to stay out of the tinfoil hat territory. But at what point does the average person, the average American, start saying to himself, well, wait a minute, there's got to be something else going on here that's driving this need for 100% compliance? And I'm not going to the tinfoil hat theories. I don't think they've put nano robots in the vaccine and tracking chips and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That's tinfoil.
No,
hat
they'll be a lot less subtle about that. They'll just say we need to track the number of vaccines that you've got, the number of booster shots, and the only way we can do that is implant something that in your body to keep track of all of that. They won't bother hiding it when it's time. The same way they're not bothering to hide the needs for the vaccine passports and QR codes.
But I think that it is driven by something that's much more plausible and much more human.
All right, well, we'll go ahead and get to it. You've been dancing around it for a minute. What do you think it is?
Driven. This whole thing is a money and a power grab, okay? Everyone from, the gals over here on the other side of the island that are making these, real, cool homemade masks with, the embroidered Guam logos and everything, which are cool, okay. But everyone from those gals all the way up to, the Pfizer, Moderna, J&J, the Lysol, everybody who makes disinfectants, 3M makes the mask. Nobody wants this to end because it's all about the money. Nobody wants it to end. The governor doesn't want it to end because every time, the Democrat creed, never let a good emergency go to a waste. Yeah. It's all about the money. Oh, well, if we have to lock down again, we get more money, right? Oh, well, if the pandemic never ends, we get to keep selling gangbuster amounts of Lysol and hand sanitizer and masks. And I'm sure the back alley deal with the federal government for all of the vaccines has got to be, okay, every dose that we get from you, we're going to pay X dollars. And then they're sitting there saying,
I've heard that. I heard that, but I'm going to ask somebody that still talks to me in the government. What account does that go into? I mean, is there a bill that we send to somebody, or an invoice, or some kind of affidavit that we send somewhere that says we did 110,000 shots on Guam, X number of doses, and here's how we're getting that?
Well, I don't know, but there's got to be something somewhere because Pfizer and Moderna and J&J and everybody are getting paid for every dose.
Well, yeah, I know, but where would the money be coming from? I've heard that argument made, and maybe I need to spend a little bit more time thinking about it. But okay, so Pfizer and Moderna, et cetera, they are being paid at some point. They're not doing this for nothing. They're going to get paid for these vaccines. So who is then paying us to give people vaccinations? And if we are getting paid for it, in what special fund is that going into? And if the argument is made that Lou is keeping all that money for herself, she can't unless it's going into a federal account first and then coming to the government of Guam. And I don't know that that's happening. So I don't know. I want to give me some time to learn a little bit more about that particular theory.
Well, there's a theory. Like I said, I'm trying to stay way away from the tinfoil hat stuff. But everybody out there needs to remember one very, very.
Well, the important thing to remember is every time that you spout a tinfoil hat theory, the important thing to remember is you lose credibility. So it's easier to argue against them with their own facts than it is to say, you know, there's a study out of Sydney, or there's this out of Australia, or I read from a guy on TikTok or something like that. Yep. Leave that stuff alone. We can hang them on their own petard, and I'll tell you which ones to look at now. The fact that we've got over 109,619 12-year-olds plus that have been vaccinated, but the CDC still says this might be one of the most toxic places on the planet. Please don't visit. So obviously somewhere the narrative needs to begin to unravel. They told us that you could still get sick from COVID-19, but it won't be bad. You won't go to the hospital. But 42% of the people in Guam in the hospital right now have got COVID-19, and they have been vaxxed. The narrative is unraveling on them. We don't need to come up with tinfoil hat conspiracy theories to beat them on this. Use their own facts against them. Hey, I got to break away. I got the news coming up. I'll talk to you.
Always, man.
Right.
Everybody also needs to take a look at these new reports that are just being released that say that unvaxxed people with natural immunity are 5 times more likely not to get COVID-19. Everybody needs to wake up because freedom ain't free. It's got to be paid for one way or the other.
I hear that, Jim. I'll talk to you pretty soon. We're closing in on 10 o'clock in the morning, and I think that's it. That's all the time I got? Dude, you know what I was going to... There's a characteristics and traits we most value in our romantic partners. In addition to the chemistry, which one of the following do you believe is the single most important factor when choosing a relationship partner? 45% of those surveyed said... I'll tell you tomorrow.
Wow.
What? Just not enough time
I'm going to
now.
come back in just for that.
People should just, I can't sleep. I won't be able to sleep. What time's the show start? 6 a.m. Bright and or early. We're rarely one or the other. But Montesilva is going to be in after Fox News at 6 o'clock. And then we got me and callers. And tomorrow's Friday.
You're in the closet.
Didn't get another shipment, but I'll see what I'll see what I can come up. Might have to do some ironing later. Might actually be some laundry going on. But as I said, most important thing, forget about the conspiracy theorists. Forget about the crap that you're getting in whatever group you're in on Facebook. Use the data. It's available. It's on the JIC every single day. And almost every one of these things refutes exactly what the narrative is. So you just got to find that and put it out. It's 10. Here's Fox News. We're the point.
Lisa Lacera, Fox News. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention says people need to be cautious as we head into Labor Day weekend.
If you are unvaccinated, we would recommend not traveling.
Director Rochelle Walensky